Hey, welcome in to Pre-Comp Review video number 3, where today the topic is on the evolution of political parties in the United States. And I must begin with the fact that in America, we are traditionally known as a two-party system. America has two principal primary political parties. And getting to where we are today, Republicans and Democrats, we're not quite there yet in where we're at with U.S. history. We know we have the Democratic Party, thanks to Andrew Jackson, but the Republicans have not yet come on the scene. But I want to go back to the very beginning first, and this is a very important reminder, a not-so-subtle reminder, that during the constitutional debate over whether to ratify the Constitution, there were two groups, two factions that duked it out, that debated through the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers and presented arguments as to whether or not the Constitution should be ratified. I stressed this in class, and I'm stressing it again for now, for AP Government, and then, of course, for APUSH. The Anti-Federalists were not a political party. They were simply a group of people whom wanted to get rid of the Constitution. They wanted a Bill of Rights to be added to protect people's rights. The Federalists, in the debate, supported the government. They supported the Constitution. But where the confusion usually lies, I think, is the fact that the Federalist Party, the first political party in America, takes the same name as the people who supported the Constitution. You must, I repeat, you must make a differentiation between the Federalist Party and the Federalists who supported the Constitution. So let's just be clear on that. Now, beginning with George Washington's presidency, once the Constitution was ratified, the Federalist Party was the only party in town. There were no political parties. All members of the government were part of the same group, the Federalists. But with Alexander Hamilton's economic plan, national bank, national debt, high taxes. With Hamilton's economic plan, that split the Federalist Party. The Federalist Party was fractured, especially with Thomas Jefferson breaking away from Washington's cabinet and taking with him people like James Monroe, James Madison, Patrick Henry. And Thomas Jefferson went on to form the Democratic-Republican Party, or as we've called them, the Dem Reps. The cause of the first split, our first two-party system, is essentially the disagreement between Hamilton and Jefferson and their personal views on the Constitution. If you recall, Jefferson was a strict interpreter. Hamilton was a loose interpreter who preferred the necessary and proper clause as a gateway to his economic plan. But that's the first two-party system we have, Federalists versus Dem Reps. In 1800, Jefferson wins the election from John Adams and Aaron Burr, and Jefferson will initiate a 28-year run where a Democratic Republican, a Dem Rep, is president. It is the longest stretch of any one political party in American history. And during that stretch, the Dem Rep dominance all but wipes out the Federalist Party. By 1820, when James Monroe won 99.5% of the voting, there were no more Federalist Party. It was all but gone. And the Dem Reps emerged as the dominant party. Where things get trickier is with Andrew Jackson and the corrupt bargain. With Jackson's defeat in 1824, as we talked about this week, Jackson formed a new party, the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party had a strong base, mostly in the South, although it did have appeal in the North. Now, what happened to the Dem Reps, right? That's what we've been sitting on this week. We've been focusing so much on Jackson that we haven't really talked about the Dem Reps. Well, the Dem Reps lost a lot of people to the Democrats. And the new sort of leader of the old Dem Rep Party was Henry Clay. And Henry Clay would run for president against Andrew Jackson, as we looked at in class this morning, or this afternoon. And Henry Clay ran against Jackson and lost in 1832. The old Dem Reps, those that were loyal to Clay and were predominantly in the North, the old Dem Reps went on to form a new political party after they lost the election of 1832. And Clay, who was going to run for president 4 times and lose all 4 times, he became the face of the new Dem Rep Party, which became known as the Whig Party, W-H-I-G. There's an H in Whig. Jackson's split will trigger the second two-party system in American history. The first two-party system was the Federalists versus the Dem Reps, and the second two-party system are the Democratic Party and the Whigs. So there you go. That's where we're at. We really only have two-party systems, and then the beauty of it is there's only 3 in American history. There's 3 two-parties systems. And that's about it as far as the parties are concerned. What you guys should be aware of here at this level right now is mainly the idea of partisanship. We've discussed this a great deal, how political parties are often split on issues. Take, for example, obviously, the Dem Reps and the Federalists with Alexander Hamilton's economic plan. There was great partisanship over that matter. We also talked about partisanship between Dem Reps and Federalists over France, whether the United States should get involved in France. That was another example of partisanship we talked about. As we move forward and we get into tomorrow's conversation, another partisanship issue is going to be the expansion of slavery. The more the United States expands in the 1830s and 40s and 50s, the more that's going to create partisanship between Democratic Party and Whig Party. So keep in mind, wherever you have political parties, there's partisanship. And this is perhaps why George Washington, in that farewell address, warned America about joining political parties. It can rip the nation apart, Washington was fearful of. And that's really where we're going to leave off for today. This is the 3rd of our review videos, and I'm hoping these are going well for you all. Just as a reminder for tomorrow, there's office hours at 3:15 to 5:15, so bring some questions. And then we'll be getting into, before you know it, the live YouTube video this week. So I'll leave you with, again, a quick recap. We've had two-party systems in American history up to this point. Federalists versus Dem Reps, and then, of course, Jacksonian Democrats versus the Whig. I bid you guys farewell for the evening. As always, the past shapes the future. Have a good rest of the evening.